Welcome back to EtherLink AI Insights. I'm Alex, and today we're diving into a topic that's reshaping how enterprises across Europe are thinking about AI. We're talking about agentic AI in production, specifically multi-agent orchestration for EU enterprises. Sam, this feels like a departure from the chatbot era, right?
Absolutely. The shift is fundamental. We've moved from systems that just respond to queries in isolation to autonomous agents that can perceive their environment, plan multi-step workflows, and actually adjust their strategies based on outcomes. It's a completely different animal.
So when you say autonomous agents, what does that actually look like in practice? Give us a concrete example.
Sure. Imagine a customer service agent that not only answers a question, but recognizes it's complex, breaks it into subtasks, retrieves relevant documents, evaluates risk, and then routes it to a human if needed, all while logging every decision for compliance. That's agentic AI. Traditional chatbots can't do that. They're too rigid.
And the adoption numbers are wild. McKinsey data shows 65% of enterprises plan to deploy agentic AI by 2026. But here's what caught my eye. Companies using agentic workflows are seeing 30 to 50% reduction in manual handoffs. That's not small.
Exactly, and they're cutting resolution times by 25%. But here's the critical part for our European listeners. The EU AI Act is fundamentally changing the game. In the US, you can build fast and add compliance later. In Europe, compliance has to be baked in from day one.
The regulatory teeth are real too. You mentioned fines up to 6% of global revenue for systems that can't explain decisions or lack human oversight. That's not a slap on the wrist.
Right, and it's not just about avoiding fines. It's about building trust with customers and regulators. European enterprises are starting to see compliant agentic AI as a competitive advantage, not just a legal checkbox. Systems that are transparent, auditable, and human-centered win market share.
So let's get into the mechanics. How do you actually build these systems at scale? I'm guessing a single agent can't do everything.
Exactly right. Single agents become bottlenecks. You need multi-agent systems where each agent is specialized. One agent might handle document retrieval, another evaluates risk, a third routes to humans. They work together through an orchestration layer.
And the results when you do this right, 40% higher accuracy, 60% faster deployment, those numbers are compelling.
They are. But the biggest win for regulatory environments is the audit trail. When you orchestrate agents properly, every decision is logged. Every reasoning step is captured. That's invaluable for EU AI Act compliance. You can literally show regulators exactly why your system made a decision.
Walk us through the different orchestration patterns. I'm hearing hierarchical, peer-to-peer, and hybrid mesh. What's the trade-off between these approaches?
Great question. Hierarchical is the most controlled. A supervisor agent routes tasks to specialists. It's slower, but every decision is fully observable, perfect for banking or insurance. Peer-to-peer is faster because agents negotiate autonomously, but it's harder to audit and track. Hybrid mesh sits in the middle. Agents publish events, subscribe to channels, coordinate via message brokers. It scales beautifully to 50 or more agents.
So for an EU enterprise, especially in a regulated sector, hierarchical seems safer?
It depends on the use case. For hiring decisions, credit approval, any high-risk domain under the EU AI Act, yes, hierarchical gives you the transparency and control you need. But if you're running supply chain workflows or financial reconciliation, hybrid mesh can work if you add sophisticated monitoring on top. The key is matching the pattern to your risk profile.
Let's talk about the Model Context Protocol, MCP. This feels like a critical piece of the puzzle for orchestration.
MCP is essentially a standardized way for agents and tools to communicate. Instead of each agent building custom integrations with databases, APIs, and services, they all speak the same language through MCP. It's like creating a universal adapter for multi-agent systems.
So it reduces integration overhead?
Massively. You can compose agents faster because they're building on shared protocols. And for compliance, it's a game changer. Every interaction is standardized and auditable. When regulators ask, "How did this agent access customer data?" you have a clear answer. It went through MCP, which logged everything.
I'm thinking about Den Haag enterprises specifically. These are organizations that probably have complex legacy systems, regulatory scrutiny, and they need this to work in the real world.
That's the challenge. Legacy systems don't play nicely with new agent architectures. That's where agent SDKs come in. They abstract away the complexity of connecting old systems to modern agentic workflows. You're not ripping and replacing, you're building bridges.
And the business case for this? Because ultimately, executives want to know, what's my return on investment?
Multiple vectors. First, efficiency. 30 to 50% fewer manual handoffs means lower labor costs. Second, speed. Faster resolution times improve customer satisfaction and retention. Third, risk. Agentic workflows reduce compliance violations because decisions are auditable and explainable. And fourth, scalability. Once you've built your orchestration framework, deploying new agents is fast and cheap.
So the ROI compounds as you add more agents?
Exactly. Your first agent deployment might take months, your 10th agent, weeks, and the governance infrastructure you build for the first one protects all 10. That's compounding returns.
What about the risks? Deploying autonomous agents at scale feels like it could go wrong in interesting ways.
That's the real question, and it's why governance-first architecture matters. The risks are agents making decisions without proper oversight, hallucinating or making up data, drift over time as environments change, and security. If one agent gets compromised, does it infect others? European frameworks handle this better because they mandate human-in-the-loop designs and audit trails. You catch problems before they cascade.
So the EU AI Act isn't just regulatory burden, it's actually pushing enterprises towards safer, more robust architectures?
Precisely. Compliance requirements force you to ask hard questions about your agents. Can they explain themselves? Is there a human override? Are we testing for bias? Are decisions logged? These aren't expensive add-ons, they're foundational. And honestly, every enterprise should be asking these questions, regulation or not.
Last question. If someone listening is a Den Haag enterprise thinking about agentic AI, where do they start?
Start with your highest impact, highest risk use case. Don't boil the ocean. Maybe it's customer escalation routing or invoice processing. Build a pilot with proper orchestration, governance, and MCP integration. Measure the outcomes. Then learn from that before scaling. And crucially, engage your compliance and legal teams early, not after you've built everything.
That's solid advice. Sam, thanks for unpacking agentic AI and multi-agent orchestration. For anyone wanting to dive deeper into the frameworks, MCP protocols, and specific patterns for EU compliance, head over to etherlink.ai. That's where you'll find the full article on agentic AI in production. Thanks for listening to EtherLink AI Insights.
Thanks, Alex. Great conversation. Catch you next time.